Hello, hello, beautiful soul. How are you doing on this fine day? I hope that you are truly, truly thriving. It's been a while since I've been live, and the reason is I have been hosting 58 Global Luminaries here on the French Riviera for our Global Luminary Activation Experience. And now I'm back. I'm back to connect with you, to hopefully inspire you and keep you moving and grooving on your life journey. So what is good? Are you looking at the beginning of fall with anticipation, with excitement? Maybe this is the time of harvest for you, where you kind of look at everything that's gone on so far this year, take stock, and hopefully celebrate what you've done right and dig deep, because the year is not over yet, which means we still have more goodness to come out of us. Hello, Taz Thornton. Lovely to see you. Looking forward to seeing you this month here again in the French Riviera for our Uncloak Your Brand Visibility Workshop. What's up, Karan? It's lovely to see you as well. And Joe Toker, it was so nice to have you here in France for our Global Luminary Activation Experience. And Gita Winter-Graugard, one of our luminaries who rocked the stage. You were awesome. Well, I want to connect with you all because coming out of such a huge event, there was so much energy flowing around that we were in total expansion, like totally tuning into the bigness of the visions and the missions within our heart. And now many of us are in that contraction phase where we're like, okay, how do I restore my energy and actually get stuff done? Well, that is why I am here for you. That is why this place on the interwebs even exists. It's all about empowering you to liberate and love your authentic self. And so if you believe like I do, then you know that you are destined to evolve, to grow and transform into better and better versions of yourself. And I'm here to inspire you and encourage you along the way. And like a phoenix that rises from the ashes, you're going to notice in your life that you are constantly being invited to morph into a higher expression of your soul's essence, using the dirt and the ashes as maybe some fuel. And then you can really become the hero of your epic life story. And today I want to share with you how really looking at your life as this epic life story and looking at yourself not as a victim, but as a hero can be totally, totally liberating. So, let's do this. Shall we? Yeah. Welcome to Liberate Your Authentic Self with Dr. Andrea Pennington, the prescription for living your life out loud. Tune in daily to get fired up with insight and inspiration for purposeful living, conscious relationships, and soulful success. So welcome, my friends, to Liberate and Love Your Authentic Self. I'm your host, Dr. Andrea Pennington, founder of the Real Self-Love Movement and managing director for Make Your Mark Global, where we just hosted a 5-day workshop and retreat in France for the Global Luminary Activation Experience. I see we have some of our teachers and transformational leaders in the house, Malin Hedlund, Willow McIntosh, Sarah Kate Brandis, who rocked the mic. It was awesome. And Taz, congratulations on launching your 14-month spiritual empowerment program. I have heard about the good work you're doing, so I know that your tribe is already getting ready for some huge transformation. And that's what I want to talk to us all about, this idea of the transformations that we're going through. So I mentioned that we were in super expansion stage. And I don't know if you've ever had that experience where you go to an event and you're all pumped up. It's the energy of the speakers and the music and the people, and you feel this high vibe. And then when you get home, you kind of like, ugh, ugh, what happened? And I know that that was something that we expected. And the lovely Bruce Cryer, who came, he's the founder of Renaissance Human. He rocked the stage as well. He shared about this concept of this expansion and contraction, just like our hearts do. Our whole energy system will go through that. So as we're like in this moment of reflection and introspection, we're really at Make Your Mark Global celebrating these 55 emerging luminaries who got activated and initiated for higher service last week. It's because of their commitment, their courage, and their huge hearts of compassion. And one of the things that was sort of unexpected were the number of people who had major healing and transformative experiences. But that's because, although it was a business conference designed to help our luminaries increase their income and impact, we also did a lot on the personal development side and spiritual development. We had workshops in meditation, we had gong baths and sound healing and guided experiences. So it was quite a moment for people to really drop in to the heart and even into the subconscious as we did some of these exercises. And I want to talk a little bit about that. The subconscious mind is the part of us that until you get conscious, it is unconsciously kind of driving your life. And one of the things that happens when you're willing to say yes to the call to adventure that we hear on this heroic journey, there is going to be a moment where you leave your comfort zone. For those of you that know Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, it starts off with this call, a call to adventure, where you're starting to get this nudging, tingling urge, this pull to change something in your life. It could be your location, your job, your relationship, but you're being called to step out of your comfort zone and into this unknown world. And it's as if we're on this quest to retrieve something or win something. So most of us in the theater and television world, we talk about the inner and outer journey of the hero. And so as we first take that step, we're stepping into the unknown. And as we're looking to retrieve something or to win something, we're going to end up facing some of our fears. And some of those fears that we experienced last week for some people was really touching into the shadow. So in the words of Carl Gustav Jung, the shadow is just this hidden, sometimes forgotten, sometimes disowned part of our psyche where aspects and elements of our personality kind of get shoved. So if you were ever told that you're too loud or you're not allowed to do certain things, there may be aspects of you that you've disowned or that you felt were wrong or bad. And sometimes the fear that we experience when we want to step out of our comfort zone and onto this journey of embracing either a new version of ourselves in business or in life or in love, it means that we're going to be coming up against those parts of ourselves that are hidden. And that's not a bad thing. The thing I want to just remind everyone of is that if you look into Jungian psychology, which was wonderfully explained and explored by Ofja Tekens, who is one of our luminaries from the Netherlands who shared an archetype workshop, we were able to go into that subconscious realm and meet some of our archetypes. And these are the hidden talents, the hidden aspects of your personality. And if you look at Jungian psychology, for all of us to really step up and thrive, we need a full integration of our personality, of our true being. And so that means that we will meet aspects of ourselves that have been in the shadow so that we can integrate them. And it was so beautiful. Somebody shared at this event how an aspect of themselves that they had once feared, they were able to meet in this beautiful meditation. And they were able to find out that it really wasn't so scary to face it, own it, and integrate it. And so I just want to inspire you that if you are feeling like, whoa, I know I'm being called to do something more, maybe that is to become a speaker or an author. We had so many beautiful people who said, oh my God, I never thought I would be a speaker, including the introverts and the highly sensitive people who were like, I would never have dreamt that this was possible for me. And yet, by stepping up in, yes, a very protected and safe environment, they were able to meet parts of themselves that were dying to get out. And that's the beautiful part about being in community. It allows us to explore pieces of ourselves and to try on new behaviors without the fear of being stoned to death or kicked out of the tribe. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Willow. I'm glad that this is helpful. And yes, Shelley, as we liberate ourselves, we give others permission to do the same. And so that's what was so cool about all of us being together, all of us being able to mirror to one another this gift that we all are. Like you've heard me say this before probably, you are a gift to the world. I'm always saying, share your presence with passion. And so one of the cool things that Malin, you shared, Malin Hedlund from Sweden, who's now in Houston, Texas, she shared a presentation about how to step out of your comfort zone. And for many of us who have been in the coaching and personal development world, we typically hear these things about taking massive action and just going for it. But for many of the people that are in my tribe, these high sensory processing individuals, taking huge, huge leaps could really be damaging because we feel so much, because we are sensitive. And so taking an ant step is a much more safe and reliable way to actually make progress to your goal. So thank you for sharing that, Malin. It was cool because so many people were able to make ant steps, whether that was reaching out to someone in the room that they didn't know before, asking for support or help. A few people just spoke on the mic, and those kinds of things reflect back to us, giving us feedback that it's okay to be ourselves. And then we were able to mirror to one another that not only is it okay, but it's preferred that you be your true self and be your whole self. And that's some of what you shared, Willow, is that each of us has a piece of this grand puzzle of life. And when each of us is playing our part, not only do things start to flow and do we feel good, but we're really able to vibe and collaborate with other people. And so I just wanted to invite some of you who may not have ever heard of the hero's journey to take a look in your own life and see if there has been this call, this urge, this nudge, or as Dr. Juicy Jill Stalker calls it, a rumbling, where you start to feel pulled into a new expression of yourself. I see that as a divine sign that you're ready. In psychology, we say that you wouldn't be getting those signs, those dreams, those synchronicities if your subconscious weren't ready to face those next steps. And so sometimes it is facing your fears. But if you look at the hero's journey, actually, you know what? I'm going to show you the hero's journey. Some of you probably have already seen this kind of thing. But in the first phase of the hero's journey, we say that we're being called to adventure. We leave the ordinary world, which is sometimes just considered our comfort zone, where we may not have a total awareness of where we're going, but that's where we start to feel the rumbling. And then we move into the call to adventure, where you pretty much can't deny that there's a need to make some sort of change. But as scary as that can be, and many of us will refuse the call, several times. That's okay, because it is an innate drive. So whether you look into psychology or philosophy, so many people for so many centuries have said that we all have this internal drive. It's an innate drive for us to evolve, expand, and grow. And so even though you may say no in the beginning and you refuse the call, like, who am I to be so whatever, eventually you will get to a point where you overcome the fear and you move into part 2, which was a huge piece of what we did here in France. This initiation, this stepping onto the path, involves meeting a mentor or several. We had so many beautiful luminaries with us who were able to facilitate the overcoming fear and that crossing the threshold as we stood up and we made this commitment to change, even if it was these tiny little ant steps. It was so, so powerful. And then, yes, there are going to be times where there are these tests. We meet up with the enemy, which is not always on the outside. Sometimes the enemy is your own thought process or your own programming. And so that's where we've got to get into these new conditions where we experiment a little bit. And so with this community at Make Your Mark Global, through our Authentic Authority Bootcamp, the Global Luminaries, and even at the Real Self-Love Movement, my intention is really for us to all have a safe space to try out, to experiment, to speak up, and to feel what it's like to express your true self, your authentic self. Maybe you weren't always appreciated for your voice or speaking your truth at home or at work or at school. This is a safe space for you to do just that. And the number of transformations that we saw were literally mind-blowing. It was one of the most, humbling experiences for me, because my team, my beautiful team, Sarah, Trevor, Laure, we had volunteers working with us, Tina Hansen, and so many other supporters. The work that we put into the event to make it amazing was, amazing. But then to see the transformations take place was so humbling. And so as you move out of that initiation phase, this is where we are now. For many of us, when you feel that contraction, it's because you're going into that transformation. You've made a declaration to your community or to the universe, to your God, your higher self, that yes, I'm going to step up. I'm going to face these fears. And in community, with the benefit of a tribe of mentors and allies, I'm going to do this. And then we kind of have to go within. And it's part of that preparation for this major transformation. And it's important for you to remember that every step is completely expected, even when it gets scary, even when the doubts come up. Because ultimately, you're preparing for a rebirth. It's like what Malin Headland shared, and for those of you who weren't with us, don't worry, you can get in on this next year, but Malin will be doing a masterclass so you can learn more about it. But one of the things that she shared is that we are really up-leveling. And it's not just that you're getting better, it's almost that you are embracing a whole new identity. This is the rebirth or the renaissance, the renaissance that, like Bruce Cryer has been going through. So it's really this time of renewal and rebirth, this reclaiming of all of your gifts and talents, so that you can do that next big thing that may feel like you're slaying some dragons or winning some type of a reward. And once you've done it, even though it was so scary to leave the ordinary world, most people find that they're being called again to return home. In the hero's journey, we call it return with the elixir, whatever that magical elixir or that gift or reward that you've gotten. Eventually, you want to take it back home to set the other people free, to show them what's possible. And it's during that return home where you may face a little more challenges and you rededicate yourself to the journey. But it's then that you truly experience this resurrection. So like the phoenix that rises from the ashes, this is part of our human story. This is part of what can be expected. So if you are feeling those things, don't assume that you've done something wrong or bad or that it's not your time. It's through this process that you will get to the mastery and you will return and set other people free. I'll be doing more on the hero's journey because it's such a big part of how I teach at Make Your Mark Global. All of our author training, Stories with Soul, and our new life writing workshop that I'm expanding to include the archetype work of Ofkia Tekens. You'll be able to learn more about what we're doing there very soon. But if you're curious and you'd like to find out more about this Global Luminary Activation Experience, where we had a ton of mentors from around the world. I can't remember the number. Sarah, maybe you know how many countries we had people flying in from. I'm going to see if I can get it. The United States. We had someone flying from Hong Kong to support the innovation generation, which was the young people between the ages of 13 and 16 who presented. We had Bermuda. We had Iceland, Denmark, the Netherlands, Sweden, the UK, France. I know, not such a long journey. We had all these amazing people fly in and get the inspiration that they needed to take their business to the next level. And part of it is about really doing this intense work on yourself. Because even though you're a healer or a coach or you consider yourself a light worker, we all have a next level to get to. And that full integration, owning all of our gifts and superpowers and then using them in service to humanity, means that we will be leveling up, which means that we will be continuing to face some of the stuff that's within us, whether that's shadow work, maybe that's the work of dealing with your codependency issues and patterns, like the lovely Helena Phillipson shared with us. It is one of these beautiful experiences that we don't have to assume that we're bad or wrong. Even though you're a coach or a healer, it's totally normal for you to go through your own healing and transformation. And so I would love to have more of you on this journey with us. If you're curious, you can get on the list to be notified when we open up applications for 2020. I think 99% of the people who were here, I would say 100%, but you never know. There was probably someone in the bathroom when I asked, but I asked everyone who was here if they would welcome coming back to this experience again, and they all said yes. Everyone in the room who was in the room. So I'm excited about that. So if you know that stepping up and stepping out is a part of your life journey, then you might want to check us out for the Global Luminary Activation Experience coming up next year. And if you don't want to wait a whole year, then you can join us for Uncloak Your Brand, where the lovely Taz Thornton from the UK will be joining us here on the French Riviera, where we can take you through a visibility workshop to address some of your hidden fears and blocks and give you a practical guide of what to do on social media and in your email list so that you can get the visibility. It's one of the things that so many people feel blocked around. It's like what to do. There's so much out there, hype and nonsense about what we should be doing on social media with Facebook, Insta, LinkedIn, funnels, all of that. So Taz and I are going to be taking people through that October 28th and 29th, right? We also have Speak from the Heart happening here on the French Riviera, and that is the 26th and 27th. So if speaking on public stages, if getting onto the global platform with your message or your methodology is important to you, then definitely tune into the programs that we're offering at Make Your Mark Global, where you have my support as well as our other transformational teachers, because the world needs you, my friend. The world needs all of us playing our part, singing our song, which is another thing I did. at this Glay event, I got to sing, which was really, really wonderful. And we had Paul Luftenegger, who graced us with his musical presence, and Mukti, a beautiful singer from Denmark, and Bruce Cryer, former CEO of the HeartMath Institute. All of us were like super nerding out as he led us through a demonstration of the HeartMath software on Dr. Juicy Jill Stalker. So we got to see her heart rate variability in real time. And then at our Friday night concert, Bruce Cryer sang for us. So super, super, super excited that we have so much talent and so many people collaborating already and contributing. This is a community that's all about sharing and uplifting other people. And it all starts with just sharing. So it was super cool. We have new partnerships, collaborations going for Latin America. Ofkia, I see that you've just joined us. Somebody volunteered to actually ask us all for the support to take what she's learning through many of the luminaries with all of our various gifts, talents, and programs and taking it to Latin America. So the programs that you've seen me talking about that have been transforming lives in the English-speaking world and some in Dutch and the Danish and Icelandic world are now going to be translated through some of these collaborations and taken into South America, thanks to Delia, who was with us. So super excited. This is what this whole community is all about. It's about lifting each other up, celebrating and singing each other's praises so that we can connect and grow and expand. So my friends, if you are in that state of kind of introspection, this is a perfect time. It's the beginning of fall. Fall is all about the harvest. It's all about gathering up everything that you've worked on this year or over the last several years, drawing from your subconscious and from your heart and soul the various talents, your abilities, your skills, the success that you've had before. Let's bring it all together and now step up and use those talents, maybe in some new and innovative ways, so that you can touch more lives. You have my full support. You have Team Pennington at your disposal and all of the programs here at Make Your Mark Global. Many of the content offerings are totally free. So stick with this community, and I look forward to be able to sing your praises in one of our upcoming programs. So thank you, thank you, thank you, my dear friends, for being here. I look forward to seeing you at Uncloak Your Brand, Speak from the Heart, maybe the Glay event in next year. You can find out all the details at makeyourmarkglobal.com or check out the links in the description. Sending you much love from the sunny French Riviera. Until we meet again, remember, you are a gift to the world. So share your presence with passion. Much love.